It's Sunday afternoon. We went to church this morning. We just had some lunch at Panda Express, and now we're home. And on the way home, we were just talking about how we wanted to start a series about foster care and our journey toward adoption, what that's been like for our family. And so we thought we'd start by the first video would just be sharing with you guys how we got into foster care at all.
Mom, you have to see kitty bits.
Okay, just a minute.
So, I mean, it's crazy to get into foster care. We didn't ever want to do it initially, but we wanted to have a lot of kids. When we first started having kids, we wanted to have as many kids as God would give us. We didn't, care if that was 1, 5, it didn't matter. Just whatever He gave us, we wanted to obey that and just love Him. So we had 3, Kennedy, Sawyer, and Tucker. And Sawyer and Tucker were really difficult pregnancies for Lindsay, the deliveries anyway. And after Tucker, they told us and told her not to have any more kids. If we had another kid, Lindsay and the child could die. So that kind of scared us away from having kids that way, but we still wanted to have more kids. We still felt like we wanted more kids. And so we first initially looked into adoption. We talked about international adoption, but I felt like there were so many kids here in America that needed homes, that needed to be loved, that I felt like it was, if there was that many kids here, why go somewhere else and adopt when we could do it here? So we went to a few adoption classes here in Loveland, Colorado with an agency, and that never really felt right to us. It wasn't so much the money. I mean, it's expensive to adopt, but it was more we just felt like it was a competition. We were competing against other parents to make the best video, so we were picked for their child. And we already had 3 kids, and there were some parents there that didn't have any children, and so it felt wrong of us to try to get a child that way, like make the best video, outdo this other family, and be picked by a mom that wants to adopt her child out. And so we just didn't feel like God was calling us to that area at that time anyway. But we still didn't feel like foster care was the right fit. But we decided to go to a meeting anyway about foster care with an agency that we had heard about and that I knew a little bit about, that was close to where we live. So we went to this foster care informational meeting and just came out of that meeting really feeling like God spoke to both of us and said, "This is where I want you to go." Did you agree?
Yep. It felt like it just was like a light bulb went off for both of us, sort of individually, feeling like this is the most missional thing we can think of to do at this point in our life. Like, this is what God was giving us to do, to be on mission, to be a part of children's lives that maybe would never hear the gospel or would never be brought to church or raised in a Christian home, but they can be raised in our home and hear the gospel, whether it's for a short time or forever. That really felt like what God was leading us to do.
Yeah. So we came out of that meeting, and we both agreed that that's where we felt called to. That was the mission field, and that's really what we looked at it as a mission field. I mean, we felt God was calling us to this certain area to just love these kids and love Him and tell these kids about Him. And so we just started that whole process. We went to all the trainings that we had to go to. We had to get a support group together, so we got some friends that went to a training with us, and that was our support group.
And we did like 2 separate weekends, Saturday and Sunday trainings. So we had to have child care, and one time we had to go a couple hours north and have these 2-day trainings 2 different times, and then another like half a day training, if I remember right.
Yeah, I think that was about it. And then you had to be connected with a support group. And so we went through all that. We got through all the training, and then we were done. We were finished with all of our training, and we were ready to take on kids and just ready for those phone calls. So in our next segment, we'll talk about the hell, the fun that was. And when we talk about it and joke about it like that, the kids were not, the kids were great. We loved the kids that were in our home, and we look at pictures of them and look at them now, and I still feel like those are our boys, those are our kids, and we love them. But what comes along with them, by what I mean by that is the system that they are a part of when they come to your home, that's where, and even I mentioned it in our first video, it's a dark world, and that's where you can see the dark world, is the system of foster care. Like the kids, if we could take them all and not have the system, we would do it. We loved the kids, we love having them here, but the system that comes along with bringing those kids into your house is a dark world, and it's a world that doesn't want you to talk about the gospel, and it's a world that tries to get you away, what we felt like anyway, away from just family and loving the kids and making them a part of your family. So that's when I say it was a hell, and we're talking about the system. The kids we loved, and we would have them again. It's just the system that they're a part of is not great, and that's where hopefully we can encourage you, if you're going through that system or thinking about going through the system, if God's calling you to do that, certainly go that way and do it, and don't let us discourage you, because I wouldn't want to discourage something that God's calling you to do. Do it and love on those kids, because that's what He wants. But you can watch these videos as encouragement to know we're here for you, and we can help you navigate that if you need that. So
Yeah, we felt like we couldn't find very many resources or encouragement or information or videos about real families going through foster care with a real picture of it. It's all very fairy tale oriented, and come here. And just, I don't know. We just want to give you guys a real picture so that you're prepared, not to discourage you, not to taint you with bitterness, but just so that you're prepared and prepared for the battle if that's something you're going into, or just aware of how it is and aware of the ways that you might be able to protect your family when you go through it. And we hope that even though everything we have to say isn't positive about foster care, we hope that it can be taken as an encouragement and just an eye-opener. And we do want to encourage people to be a part of foster care if that's what God is calling them to do.
yeah. So that'll be it for this episode of Family Farmhouse. Thanks for watching. Come back and we'll have some more videos as the weeks come on about foster care and just living where we live. So we appreciate you watching, and we'll talk to you later.
Bye.